And now, the general weather around Alaska.
All right, first up, satellite imagery here showing low pressure and a front standing out quite vividly here on the photos, with low pressure tracking up into Bristol Bay, the front pushing northward and eastward here, bringing gale force winds from the eastern Bering Sea here, Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians, all the way across the North Gulf Coast. Winds and rain on the increase over the Panhandle. Wet day here across south central Alaska, especially the North Gulf Coast areas, nearly an inch falling today at Portage. And some rain up here with ahead of the front here through the central interior. Clouds up to the north there, bringing some light rain and snow to the central Arctic coast there, to a lesser extent in over the North Slope. Otherwise, a break back here behind the system, a couple of weak areas of cloudiness over the Aleutians with some light rain and showers there. And on the chart for tonight, you can see one of those systems here keeps it kind of wet there over the western Aleutians. Otherwise, not too bad under high pressure over the central Bering Sea. But the gradient between this high and this low stays pretty tight here, with winds that today gusting 40 to 60 miles per hour here for the Pribilof Islands, eastern Aleutians, into the Alaska Peninsula. Will start to diminish back here to the west and to the north as well, with gusty winds, gales warnings out for the Alaska Peninsula and the Bristol Bay, also for the North Gulf Coast and the Panhandle, with rain continuing to slowly spread eastward there on the southeast coast. Kind of another round coming in later tonight and pushing northward here across the Copper River Basin right up to the Alaska Range. Not much getting north of the Alaska Range, so it'll stay pretty dry there over the upper Tanana Valley, 40-mile country. This trough with some showers here back to the northwest. But look for some clearing here with the cooler conditions for the Kotzebue Sound area, Seward Peninsula, drying out for the Yukon Delta coast, or staying dry there all the way down into the eastern Aleutians. Showers ending, especially for Unamak Island. Areas of light wet snow for the Arctic coast into the north slope, and some of that will be accumulating snow in the Brooks Range tonight. That'll continue up that way through tomorrow as well. More spotty, lighter amounts there for the central and western coast, and then south of the mountains, that precipitation in the form of rain showers here from this trough axis eastward into this 992 millibar low that develops up there over the eastern interior. This front, very slow moving, hangs up right along the North Gulf Coast, so periods of rain, heavy at times, continue. Southern Kenai Peninsula, Prince William Sound, eastward in toward Yakutat, a wet day coming up for the Panhandle, and this low here just south of Kodiak Island keeps it wet there. And gusty north winds, gale warnings for the Alaska Peninsula here, with gusts of 40 to 55 miles an hour out of the northwest and the channeled areas there. Winds stay north but lighter as you come into the Yukon Delta and up into the northwest interior. Not much going on out west here, just a couple of weak systems, as you can see there, bringing some light precipitation with them, and not much in the way of any significant wind. Then on Thursday, again, a couple of weak systems out here over the southern Bering Sea, drag some light rain, fog, and drizzle across portions of the Aleutians. Kind of a showery, cloudy condition for the central and northern Bering Sea up towards St. Lawrence Island. Winds light, though, in those areas. And this low drifting eastward here, very slow-moving front, continues wet conditions for the southeast coast. Stays wet for the North Gulf Coast, right into the Kenai Peninsula and Prince William Sound. Cook Inlets, the Sitna Valley, starting to become a little more showery with lighter precipitation into the afternoon. Showers over the east side of the state, some clearing on the west side, and a mixture of precipitation for the North Slope and the Arctic coast. Moving on to Friday. You can see that front finally kicks through and weakens there, moving into British Columbia. But back it up one here, right through here, expect another development with the cooler air coming down. Will develop right here and generate this front that brings more rain up to the North Gulf Coast and into the north coast of the Panhandle there. Juneau northward there, kind of a break down to the south with maybe some sun breaks there. And this trough keeps a lot of showers going, definitely cloudy skies with wet conditions for Cook Inlet, south central Alaska. And some scattered showers along the Alaska Range eastern interior, some scattered sunshine here with light winds for the western part of the state. Still looking at a potential for some light snow for the central and western Arctic coast. And a weak low here brings rain into the eastern Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula. And for the lows tonight, mostly in the 30s, up to Anaktuvuk down in the upper 20s there, with mid to upper 30s down to St. Lawrence Island, Seward Peninsula, 40s for the Bering Sea, 40s to lower 50s here for the remainder of Alaska, and lower to mid 50s for the southeast coast. Highs for tomorrow in the upper 50s northern Panhandle, lower to mid 60s to the south, and highs in the 60s, lower to mid 60s for the central and eastern interior, 55 to 60 for southern Alaska here. West of the Alaska Range, though, a little cooler, upper 40s and lower 50s there. And in the 30s from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast. And lows following morning, lower 30s, 30 to 35 here for the north slope and the Arctic coast. You can see 30s now, mid 30s coming all the way southward there to Bristol Bay. And otherwise, the Alaska Peninsula is still in the 40s there. And then warmer on the east side here with hot lows in the lower, or in the 40s, and 45 to 50 here, south central Alaska. No change to the Panhandle, highs in the, or lows in the lower to mid 50s, highs lower to mid 60s there for the southeast coast, as well as the extreme east side of the state, otherwise in the 50s. 30s from the Brooks Range to the Arctic coast for the highs, and upper 40s to near 50 here in the west, as well as the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. And for the extended temperature outlook, 6 to 10 days, September 15th through 19th. Same pattern here, above normal in the east, down across the Panhandle, below normal in the west, and right around normal here in the gray shaded area there from the central Arctic coast right on down into Dillingham to Bethel through the Kuskokwim Valley. Precipitation-wise, below normal, where it's going to be cooler than normal here for the west coast, and above normal in the warmer areas here, above normal precipitation, southeast and south central Alaska, right on down the southeast coast.